Silent Hill was released by Konami in 1999, and it puts players in the shoes of Harry Mason, a man on a quest to find his lost daughter, Cheryl. He'll have to take a journey through the hellish town of Silent Hill, and the creators made sure to fill each and every corner with some sort of mystery, Easter egg, or reference to pop culture. So I've put together a list of random facts about the game that some people may or may not be aware of. So without further ado, Number 1. 3D environments. Unlike other horror titles of the time that used static camera angles with pre-rendered backgrounds, Silent Hill featured a fully three-dimensional environment and gave players limited control of the camera. You could look around when you were on the streets of the city and see all of the little details that were included, or you could get up close to signs in the background and try to figure out what they say. Number 2. Lizard Boss. Right before you leave the normal school, you'll have to turn on the generator to power up the clock in the courtyard. When you hit the switch, you hear a low growl like some sort of large creature. Come back to this exact same room in the Otherworld school, you'll find out what was making that noise. A large lizard-like creature sleeps in the middle of a large room waiting for its next prey. Number 3. Hospital, 4th floor. Once you reach the hospital, you have to power up another generator. No creepy growls this time. And you'll be able to take the elevator to the 2nd and 3rd floor. The doors on each floor will be locked, so you'll jump back into the elevator, only to find that a mysterious 4 button has appeared on the panel. Alchemilla Hospital only has 3 floors. If you go into the stairwell and try to go to the 4th floor, you'll end up with a face full of concrete. While you explore the unknown place, the doors will all lock behind you, sealing you in and pushing you forward. Number 4. Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth is a 90s alternative band that the devs must have been big fans of because they included a pretty big reference to them. Inside the normal version of the school, you'll find a ledger with a list of names of teachers including K. Gordon, T. Moore, L. Ronaldo, and S. Shelley. Well, it just so happens that the band is made up of Kim Gordon, Thurston Moore, Lee Ronaldo, and Steve Shelley. Number 5. Fog. Silent Hill is always covered by thick clouds of fog because of the nearby Toluca Lake, and it's one of the game's best tools for creating suspense in the outdoor moments. Monsters are difficult to spot until you get up close, and sometimes they'll just start dive-bombing you out of nowhere. The interesting thing about the fog is that it was something born out of necessity. The draw distance on the PS1 wasn't particularly good, so you would be able to see the buildings and streets popping into existence as you came closer. Fog was used to cover this up and to create a much more immersive experience while running through the town. Number 6. Beginning Alley. At the start of the game, players will find themselves in an alley that twists and turns in an unnatural way, while taking control of the camera away from you. Slowly it becomes darker and more threatening until we come face to face with a crucified body hanging from a rusty fence. Suddenly, you'll be surrounded by a group of knife-wielding zombie children. If you try to run away, you'll find that the way you came in has been blocked off. With no way to defend yourself, you'll succumb to your wounds and pass out, waking up in a nearby diner. When you return to the alley, it gets even stranger. The path forward has collapsed, leaving only enough room for a small child to squeeze through. However, if you come around to the other side of the block, you'll see the collapsed door frame from the other side. So exactly where did Cheryl go? Number 7. Endings. There are 2 instances where the player will need to make a choice that can affect how the story unfolds. If you skip over saving Kaufman or gun Sybil down, you could put yourself on the road to getting the worst ending of the game. Fortunately, you can put saves before important decisions and try again from there. There are 4 different endings that you can get on your first playthrough, and a secret 5th ending becomes available during a second run. I did another video talking about how to get all of the endings in the game. You should check that out. Number 8. UFO Ending. The UFO ending is only available to players once they've completed the game and gotten the Good Plus ending. Start a new game with the clear data and head north to the convenience store, where you will find the Channeling Stone. Use it on top of the Otherworld School, the hospital courtyard before the boss fight, the parking lot motel, the bridge of the ship, and finally on top of the lighthouse. This will summon some new friends, and you'll get the first joke ending in what became a long-standing tradition in the series. Number 9. New Game Plus weapons. The Channeling Stone isn't the only thing you unlock in a second playthrough. After getting through the school, players can go to the gas station and grab a container of gasoline. You now have a choice to make, as the gas can be used to get either the chainsaw or the rock drill. You'll need to leave the other weapon behind for now, but you could swing by and grab both on a third playthrough. A third playthrough will also give you the Hyper Blaster if you've previously obtained the UFO ending, and the Katana if you've killed both of the game's final bosses. Number 10. Pop Culture Influences. What would you get if you took Twin Peaks, added in some Stephen King, and topped it off with a dash of 80s Hollywood horror? Well, you're not wrong, but you would also get Silent Hill. The story takes a lot of inspiration from the movie Rosemary's Baby, where a cult impregnates a girl in the hopes that she will give birth to a god. There's also a lot, and I mean a lot, of inspiration taken from the TV show Twin Peaks. From the look of the town, to the eccentric characters, and even the music takes a lot of cues from the show. The game pays homage to several famous authors by naming streets in the town after them. Koontz Street is clearly a reference to Dean Koontz, and Bachman Road is a reference to Richard Bachman, who is a pseudonym for Stephen King. The elevators here remind me a lot of the ones from Stephen King's The Shining, and you can find more references to King in the form of graffiti with sayings taken straight out of his books, such as Burn Me Alive and Red Rum. Finally, the look of the Otherworld in this game seems to be taken a lot from Clive Barker's Hellraiser, with his bodies that have been ripped apart by chains or hung on walls. Number 11. Saving Sybil. At a certain point in the game, Sybil will be attacked from behind in a cutscene. When we finally meet up with her, her eyes will glow red and she will have a parasite on her back, similar to the nurses and doctors in the hospital. You can choose to fight her, or you can avoid her until she drops her gun. If you remembered to grab the Aglophidus on the floor of the hospital and kept it in a plastic bottle, you can now use it to cure Sybil of her parasite. There's also a way to skip the fight entirely and go straight to the conversation afterwards. As soon as you get to the amusement park, find one of the baby shadow ghosts and use Aglophidus on it. The game will cut right to a distorted version of the cutscene where Harry uses it on Sybil. Speedrunners could shave a good 45 seconds off with this secret. Number 12. Passive Final Victory. Depending upon your choices throughout the game, you'll have to do battle with either the god Samael or ascended version of your own beloved daughter. They can each be challenging, but they both share the same weakness. They play fair. If you go into the final battle with no ammo for any of your guns, you have no way of damaging the monster. You can't get close enough to hit them with melee, so you have to be able to shoot them. So what exactly do you do? Turns out, after a couple of attacks, it will decide that you're too pitiful to take on, and the battle will just end. Yeah, the designers actually thought of that and came up with a way to keep you from soft-locking yourself in the final battle. This is especially interesting in the bad ending, where your own daughter abandons you and leaves you to rot in Silent Hill. Number 13. Snow and Rain. Fog isn't the only weather effect Harry will need to deal with because it's always precipitating in Silent Hill. There's always a light snowfall in the air when you're in the normal version, and it turns into a hard rain whenever you're in the other world. And it is snow in this game. Kaufman even says so himself. Number 14, White Claudia. Before getting to the hospital, players can explore the Silent Hill police station and grab a few items. You'll also find a chalkboard that talks about a local drug made from the flower White Claudia, and that the police are looking for the manufacturer. Later on, Sybil will mention a drug ring that sells its product to tourists. Once you reach the resort area of town, you can stop at the nearby bar to find Kaufman wrestling with one of the monsters. Harry will rescue him, and he leaves behind a wallet with a passcode written on a receipt. If you go to the store and put in the code, you'll gain entry, and inside is a safe that contains large bags of a white substance. Number 15, Lisa's Addiction. Why are characters named Lisa always tragic characters in horror games? Lisa Garland is a nurse at the Alchemilla Hospital, but her main duty was taking care of a young girl with burns all over her body. No matter how many times Lisa would change the bandages, the blood and pus would continue to ooze through. The stress became too much for Lisa, and she requested to be moved. Her boss, Dr. Kaufman, wouldn't allow it, and instead started giving her drugs to calm her down and to keep her obedient. Number 16, the radio. In my opinion, the radio is one of the greatest tools ever in a horror game for freaking the player out. Anytime it senses an enemy near it, it will emit this nerve-rattling sound that sounds like a fire alarm combined with crumpling paper. It quickly creates this Pavlovian response where, as soon as you hear it, your muscles start to tighten up. Anytime you walk into a room and hear that thing going crazy, you feel like it's a fight for your life before you even know what you're shooting at. Sometimes the radio can even clue you in as to what kind of monster it is in the room, like when you have a bunch of those cockroaches, and it will drop the ringing and lean more heavily on the crumpling sound. Number 17, Akira Yamaoka. Music and sound was handled by Akira Yamaoka, who wrote a soundtrack that sometimes sounds like you're inside of a factory and there's machinery everywhere crashing around you. It's got some moody tracks that put the player on edge, and there's some groovy stuff that sounds like it's straight out of Twin Peaks. Finally, there are tracks like the main theme or Tears Of that I just absolutely adore. Yamaoka's musical style would evolve over time as he became the godfather of the series later on. Number 18, Takayoshi Sato. Takayoshi Sato was the CGI director and character designer. The feel of the town and its environment was something he came up with, saying, "I tried to depict a town that is desolated, filled with sorrow, yet you cannot stop loving it." He would also single-handedly create all of the CGI cutscenes in the game, putting in thousands of hours of work during the development. Number 19, Team Silent. The team that worked on Silent Hill came from the Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo Division, or KSET for short, and became affectionately known as Team Silent. Most of these members would stay with the company for years, working on future Silent Hill games, and many fans consider their work to be the best games in the series. Over time, members would leave to work on other projects, and it was Akira Yamaoka who became producer of the series, starting with Silent Hill 3. Number 20, changes to the intro. At the start of the game, we get an impressive CGI intro with a great track from Akira Yamaoka that introduces us to some of the characters that we will meet in the game. This includes a scene where Harry and his wife find Cheryl on the side of the road. If you get the good plus ending and watch the intro again, Harry's wife will be replaced with Sybil, and will stay like this every time you start the game with the same memory card inserted. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video or learned something new, drop us a like and consider subscribing. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.